Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to explore the concept of dev containers. Some of you may have heard about this already. This is a pretty neat solution for the developers who do not want to install different stuff in their own personal computer to do their developments. So this is basically the same concept that we use for our Docker images. So we're going to take help of Docker to create our own container. The only difference is that this container is going to help us to do our development. So let us see it in action. The first thing you need to do is to have this specific plugin in your VS Code. So if you have watched my previous video on WSL, you would already know about this plugin. Even if you don't know, I will show you how to find this plugin. So the name is, for this you need to install this remote extension. So you can see this remote development pack. It comes with this 4 stuff. So if you install this pack, all these extensions will be installed. And this particular one is of interest to us for this particular topic. So I already have this installed in my VS Code. So I'm going to simply launch a new container. In this particular example, I'm going to develop a Go application, a Go HTTP application to see how it works. So if you click on this small green button, this window will come up and you simply type create dev container for your brand new development setup. When you click on this, it asks for which particular software you need to work with, right? So in our case it's Go, so you can simply select Go. If it was Java, we could have selected Java, or if it was Node.js, we could have typed Node.js. So they have all these pre-configured images set up that we can use in our development container. So we are going to select Go as we want to build a Go application. So simply press Go, enter, and see it gives the options to create the container, create dev container. So click on that and it is going to install the necessary image. So our container is built. As you can see here, we have this .dev container folder. Inside this we have this dev container.json file. Now all the configuration of the dev container is present here. So the most basic thing that we need is an image based on which the container is built. So you can see the default one is here. It's given by Microsoft. The name has been added is default Go, and we can actually use this dev container because it has pretty much all the necessary dependencies that you need to build the Go application, right? So apart from that, we need some extensions to be installed in this system, so that because this dev container is going to be used by all the developers in a team, right? So we know that some extensions which everybody is going to use, they need to be present. For example, we need the Docker extension. So we can do that. We can go to Docker marketplace and search for Docker, because all the applications that we are building is going to be installed. I mean, the images will be built, Docker images, and they will be shipped through the images. So we need a Docker extension. So first thing, we need to add this configuration to our dev container.json file. So simply click on this gear icon and click on this add to dev container.json. So you will see it has so I think because there are some changes I made, so overwrite. So let's retry this. So add to dev container.json. So as you can see, the Docker extension has been added here. So this is good, right? We need these extensions to help with our productivity. So, and next we are going to install it here. So press on install and it's downloaded and installed. So as you can see, the Docker icon has appeared here. So now I think this is the least thing we need. We are good to go. I mean, we can simply create a Go application now. So it's going to be a very simple REST application. It's so let's write that. So let's save our main.go file, and we're going to say package main, right? Package main, and func main, and let's create our handlers. So http dot handle func, and let's say it's going to run on REST app, and it's going to call not REST app, we call it health. We are going to do a health check of this server. So health handler, right? And we're going to define the handler here. So func health is going to be our response writer, and it's going to be a pointer to request object, and it's going to return health information. So what could we have on health? So let's create a struct first. So type health struct, and let's say message string. Let's give the hostname string, and let's give the local time. So let's say current time, and time.time, right? Time.time. And here we are going to return the response. So JSON dot new encoder, we are going to pass the writer here. We are going to write the response. So rw dot encode, we are going to pass an instance of health. So health, and let's pass the message. So what should be the message? Let's say the server is up. Server is up. Our host name. So we need to get the host name first. So os.hostname and h comma this. So we are not doing any error handling here. So we are certain that we are going to get a host name unless there is absolutely something wrong. And the current time will be time.now. 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 Right. So this should be good. And last but not the least, let's be explicit in giving the response code. So rw dot, I think it's right header, yeah, right header, http dot status. Okay. So let's test it out. So go run main.go. First let's check the Go version. So by default it should give us the latest one. So here's the latest one, 1.20.1. So go run main.go, and let's open up the terminal. Let's do occur http localhost. Oh, forgot to give the port. Sorry about that. So http dot listen and serve on 8282, and you can pass this to nil. Right. So let's rebuild this. Go run main.go, and see, it's automatically suggesting us to forward this port. So right now we don't need it, but we'll check that later. So let's close this for now. So 8282 and health. So see, we are getting the details that we need. This is the message we're expecting. Now if you run this on the local, so we can see this here as well, localhost 822. Okay. Now let's write our Docker files here. So Docker file, and so let's write from base image. We need I think Golang latest is the Alpine one, and we are going to create our directory. So our directory app, copy. Okay, we need a go.mod file. So let's create that. So go mod init. Let's give it a name like very simple, web, right? Go mod init web, go mod tidy, and let's copy the go.mod file and the main.go file. These are the two files we need. Go.mod to download the dependencies to the app folder. And what else? Let's run the go mod download, right? And expose the port, expose 8282, right? And entry point should be go run main.go. We could have worked it, we could have made it fancier, like doing a multi-stage build, but I didn't want to do that because it's a very simple use case and it's for demo purpose. So let's create a Docker Compose file, docker compose.yaml. So from the first is version 3.8, right? Services, web. Let's give it name web build. Let's give the context should be the current path. So current path, and Docker file should be the capital 1 Docker file, and we need to give the ports. So 8282 map to 8282, and what else? And give it a container name. So let's give it a simple name like web. I think that should be it. I think, yeah. So let's build the Docker image now. Docker compose up. Okay, now in this dev container, Docker compose command is not found. So in order to avoid this error or get around this error, we need to use a specific feature of VS Code with dev container. So we're going to add that. So simply copy paste this line. In fact, you can find all the features here. So you see there's a features section. So if we follow this link, open, and this should give us the details of the features available. So here you can see all the stuff. Now in this case, what we need is Docker in Docker, right? So Docker in Docker is going to, Docker outside of Docker. So this is going to help us with using the Docker compose commands. So we are going to simply copy this and add it inside features. So uncomment this line, add this, and inside quotes. So there are the quotes here. So comma here, and this one is not needed. I think colon expected. So I think comma is needed here. No. No, comma is not needed actually. Features and I think okay, this one. Okay. Now, as soon as we do this, we need to rebuild this image. Otherwise, this will not be available. And also, since it is going to run in Docker, we need to open this port from Docker container. So we are going to use this forward port stuff and put our port number here and here. So now we need to rebuild this. So let's do that. So click on this button again and go to rebuild container. So as soon as we do that, the container gets rebuilt. So as you can see, it will check the configuration file, and whatever has been added, it is going to download the features and going to install them. So you can see here processing feature, and then it's installed the feature here. So extension has been installed and everything. So it started. So now let's try with one more thing. You have observed that 8282 has been added to the open ports. So now let's open a terminal and try our Docker Compose. So Docker Compose up. So what is the problem here? Docker Compose non-string key in services web.ports. Okay, so let's add strings, this one. Let's see, should be a number or an object. Oh, maybe you need another like this. So what's going on? 8282. I don't think I need this. Restart this. Okay, I don't know what was happening, but it's working. So okay, it looks like it started. So this time it is connected to Docker instead of dep container, and it's bringing up the result. So this is how we can use a very simple dep container to test it out. So this is for today. I'm going to add some more features, some more customizations to this dep container JSON file, and show you how to and why to use them. For example, this is using a default image given that is given by Microsoft. So we can actually have our we can actually use our own image. I mean, some other image of Go, and on top of that we can install our dependencies and use that as dev container. We can do that. We can have our Docker file for that. We can even have our Docker Compose file to install more stuff. For example, if we want to install Postgres in this dev container, we can do that as well. So, and also we can speed up the process of loading VS Code, because every time it loads up, it needs to reinstall the extensions and features. We can even cache that and make it fast. So we are going to see this customization in the next video. So thank you for joining this session today, and see you in the next one.